I remember a day when I thought H2s were cool. Such a shame to the economy. Oh, what's going on, guys? Check this out. We just got a bike chilling on the dyno, the Z9 Hundo. The ZX6 will make its way to the dyno soon. You guys will stay tuned for that, I hope. Okay, guys, thoughts. I want your thoughts on something. Not on this. This is so that kids do not jump on our bikes. Okay, thoughts on this though. You ready? If you don't know how to take your seat off, this is the weirdest thing ever. Most bikes, actually every bike that I've ever ridden, the back seat comes off, right? Not on this one. On this one, it's the front seat with the key, right? What the heck did I do? There. Is that not weird? And then to get the back seat off, you have this little cable. I actually like it though, because you don't have to take bolts out to get your seat out. By the way, there is literally no room with that stupid exhaust servo motor. So annoying. Let me roll these things up or something. Okay. Man, I gotta get gas. There's so much to do, so many things to see. So if I haven't explained this, this is where I work. And thankfully, oh man, I get to store my bike here. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. How much room do I actually have? Man, this is the great thing about motorcycles. Look at that. Look at that. Boom. All right. Cool. What's going on, ladies and gents? We're finally almost off. We're still waiting on a light, but we're getting there. Guys, I have not been able to ride in the last 2 weeks because it has been raining non-stop. And as you can see, it's still kind of, apparently it's raining in the town that I'm from, which is like 30 minutes that way. That's where my dad lives. So yeah, it's been raining non-stop. It's actually supposed to be raining here today, but it is currently sunny enough to ride, so we're riding. Where'd they come from? Where are they at? Where are they at though? I hear ya. Ow. Well, I'll be praying for whoever is getting life netted, because that's never a fun trip. So yeah, it's not going to be a very long video, which is good for you guys, good for me. I don't have to edit a lot, I don't have to talk a lot, I won't ramble too much, hopefully. And yeah, I just wanted to briefly talk about which bike you should start on. Now, this isn't, like I just said, it's not going to be a long video, because I know there are plenty of other videos out there that talk about this topic. Some go into depth, some are probably quick and to the point, like this video will be. But again, we don't really need another video that's going to cover this, but I'm just going to give you my thoughts and my perspective, my view. So if you've watched all of my videos, and if you remember, I mentioned in my second video, I believe, that I started out on a R6 when I was technically 15 years old, which is ridiculous, right? Now to elaborate, I got the bike when I was 15. I made like 2 trips on it down the road and back while my dad stood outside and watched me, and I turned around and I came home. So it wasn't like my parents were crazy and just let me go do whatever I wanted on this sport bike at 15 years old. Plus, I wasn't even legally able to ride it. At that point, I had just had my permit, so technically I could, I guess, ride under someone's supervision who had an M endorsement. So anyway, that's basically what I did. And then I turned 16. Legally, I was able to have whatever I wanted. And so I went and got my M endorsement and I started riding. So the reason why I start there is to tell you that, well, for one, I guess where I'm coming from, and for two, to say that it's possible to start on a 600 and not kill yourself, okay? Now, as far as what I recommend, it's really hard to say, because I think it has a lot to do with your personality, and I'll get to that in a minute, because that might sound kind of stupid, but I think it has a lot to do with kind of who you are and how you are going, you know, how mature you may be. Yeah, so anyway, so I think, I don't know, I think it depends on kind of there's a lot of factors that come into play with that topic, really. So it's really hard to, you know, to talk about, because again, your age, you know, plays a role, how mature you are, your maturity level, as the old folks say, you know, and then, yeah, like your riding style, and so all these different things. So it's hard to kind of pinpoint like, oh, everyone in the world should start on this bike. Now, also when I was 15, 16 and just started on a bike, the only small bike that they had was a Ninja 250, whereas now they have the Ninja 300, they have the Ninja 400, and then, you know, of course they have the 650 as well, which is like a it's you know, it's like a, it's not a sport touring, it's just like a I don't know, I can't think of where you put that class wise right now, but anyway, the 650 is like a detuned 600, you know, and that's a whole nother subject. Well, wait, it's bigger doesn't always mean faster. Most people probably know that, some people probably don't, but anyway, yeah, so you know, they had the 650, and then I'm sure Yamaha, and I just talked on the Ninja, the Kawasaki stuff, so I'm sure Yamaha and Suzuki, you know, they have, like, the Yamaha has the R3, and the Honda, I think, has, or I know they have some sort of, it's either a 250 or a 300. So anyway, so now they have, oh, the Honda also has a CB500, I believe. So that's a pretty neat little bike. So I guess where I'm going with all of that is just to say this, that I don't think you should necessarily start on a 600 unless, you know, you just find a really good deal, or it's kind of, you know, maybe it's the only thing that's available to you, and you know, in the moment that you decide to buy a bike or something. I don't know. For me, like, long story short, I actually traded a four-wheeler for the R6. So I was actually trying to trade, when I got my bike, that's all I had. My dad wasn't going to buy me a bike. He said, you can trade this, you can add money to it, whatever you want, but it's on you. So I kind of had, you know, who's honking at me? Somebody's honking. I don't know who it is. Hello. Anyway, threw me off. But I had the option, or sorry, okay, so yeah, what I'm getting at is, when I got my bike, I didn't really have a whole lot of options, because it wasn't like I just had, okay, I had $4,000, I'm gonna go buy this bike. I had a four-wheeler and no cash, and so whoever would trade me straight across, that's what I was gonna get. So I was trying, you know, like I said, I was trying to get a Ninja 250. I tried to get, you know, like maybe a Vulcan or what, again, whoever, whatever I could find. I was asking, hey, do you want to trade? And the person that traded me was a guy that happened to have a 2004 R6, so that's what I got. So again, if your circumstances are only allowing for you to get a 600, I'm not going to say it's the worst idea in the world, but if you have kind of a budget, or if you have some options, I don't think you should necessarily start out on a 600. Definitely don't think anyone should start out on a 1000. Now again, I did buy a 1000, sold my R6 and got a 1000 when I was 17, so I was still pretty young. I had a zx6r 2007, so again, I talked about that in my second video, but yeah, I definitely moved into sport bikes at a young age compared to, I guess, a lot of people. But my recommendations, this dude's waving at me. Hey, a video I want to make is giving high fives on campus. Let's see how many we can get. This girl, I don't know, she was looking, she's on her phone. It's finals, so like no one's here. But yeah, I definitely don't recommend you starting out on a 1000. I recommend, you know, getting a CV500 or getting a Ninja 300 or 400. And I also don't necessarily recommend buying something brand new, because odds are, if it's your first bike, you're going to drop it. Something's going to happen to it. You're going to lay it over, you know. So I don't recommend getting something brand spanking new. So yeah, that's my take. I'll talk to y'all later. Oh, I can't park there. Are you guys leaving? Maybe I can park there. Hey, also, I'm gonna throw this out there. Aside from the bike that you should get, I also recommend everybody should go and get the M endorsement, or whatever the requirement is of your state. I know plenty of people that don't have it. You know, it is what it is if you don't, or whatever, but I don't know, I just think you should. Also, I think everybody should take the MSF safety course. I say should, I think it's helpful. So I took it. I think it gives you some things to look out for, and please don't back up. And to consider when riding. But again, it's, you know, it's obviously not required. Some people might get on here and say, oh, the MSF is stupid, don't take that course, it doesn't do anything, you know, it just costs money. I don't know, maybe no one will say that, but I just think it's not a bad idea. So 2 more things, words of wisdom from your boy, the real deal. I'm for real out this time. Bye bye.